The Galactic Council building was large and shining, standing in the middle of a huge floating city in space. Ships from many different worlds came and went, shining in the soft light of distant stars. Inside, the council chamber was busy. Aliens from many planets sat in their seats, talking in low voices and waiting for the next event. Everyone knew something special was going to happen that day. The Graviton delegation was about to show their famous gravity resistance abilities. The Gravitons were proud and serious. Their bodies looked smooth and strong, with silver and blue skin that seemed to glow. They moved lightly, as if normal gravity did not affect them at all. Everyone watched as the Graviton leader, named Zorv, floated forward to the center of the room. Zorv bowed politely to the council and then lifted himself a little higher in the air, with no effort. Other Gravitons followed, floating beside him, almost as if they were dancing humans were also there. They sat together near the back of the chamber. Lavra looked around the room, trying not to show how nervous she felt. She was chosen to be the human representative this time, and she wanted to make a good impression. Her friend Ben was sitting next to her, trying to make her smile. "Don't worry, Lavra," Ben whispered. "Just be yourself. Remember, no one here has seen a real human bungee jump video yet." Lavra laughed quietly. "Let's hope we don't need to show them that today." The council leader, a tall being with soft green skin and kind eyes, called for silence. "Let us begin," he said. "The Gravitons have come from far away to share their skills. Please watch carefully." Zorv spoke with a deep, calm voice. "Thank you, Council. We come to show you the power of gravity resistance. On our planet, gravity is much stronger than here. We have learned to move against it, to float above the ground, and to resist any force that tries to pull us down. Today, we will share this gift with you." With a signal, the other Gravitons joined Zorv in the center. They formed a circle and then began to float higher and higher. Their feet left the floor, and their bodies twisted and turned in slow, graceful moves. They spun around each other and made patterns in the air, almost like a dance. Aliens from many worlds watched in amazement, clapping softly. Some beings from planets with heavy gravity gasped. One, a large orange alien with 4 arms, whispered, "On my world, we cannot even jump." To see them float is like seeing magic. Lavra watched the show with interest. She leaned over to Ben. "They're really good," she said. "But it reminds me of the time we visited the canyon for bungee jumping." "Remember how scared you were?" Ben grinned. "Hey, I was only scared until the jump started. After that, it was just fun." The Gravitons kept floating and spinning. Zorv finished the show by rising to the top of the chamber and then coming back down slowly and gently until he landed softly in front of the council. The other Gravitons followed. Everyone clapped and some even cheered. The council leader stood up. "Thank you, Zorv and the Graviton team. Your control over gravity is impressive. Does anyone have questions for our guests?" Many aliens raised their hands. One small round being from a low-gravity planet asked, "How do you train your body?" "To do this," Zorv answered kindly, "we begin as children. We practice every day, learning to balance our own gravity fields. It takes many years, but anyone can learn if they try hard enough." Another alien asked, "Are there any dangers?" Zorv nodded. "If we lose focus, we can fall or bounce too high. But with care and practice, we stay safe." Then the council leader looked at Lavra. Would the human representative like to ask or say anything? Lavra felt a bit nervous, but she stood up and smiled. "Thank you, council leader. I am Lavra from Earth. I want to say that what the Gravitons have shown us is amazing. On Earth, gravity is strong, but we have learned to live with it in our own ways. Sometimes we even try to use gravity for fun." Zorv raised an eyebrow. "Fun? What do you mean?" Lavra looked at Ben, who was already grinning. "Well, on Earth we have a sport called bungee jumping. People tie a big elastic cord to their feet and jump off high places like bridges or cliffs. They fall, then bounce back up again. People do it for excitement and to feel brave. We also have skydiving, rock climbing, and other things." The chamber became quiet. Many aliens stared at Lavra, not sure if they heard her right. Zorv's eyes grew wide. "You jump on purpose? From high places?" Laura nodded. Yes, people pay money for it. Some even do it every week. A small alien from a water planet asked, "Aren't you afraid?" Lavra smiled. Of course, but that is part of the fun. We trust the science, the ropes, and the people who help us. We feel fear, but we do it anyway. It makes us feel alive. Ben added, sometimes the best stories come from doing something scary and then laughing about it later. Zorv looked thoughtful. I have never heard of such a thing. On my planet, we only use gravity resistance for safety and work. We do not play with gravity. The council leader nodded. Perhaps humans see things differently. Their courage is famous, but now we see it in a new way. Other aliens began to talk in low voices. Some looked shocked, while others looked curious. Lavra felt relieved that her words made everyone think. Then squeezed her hand, and she smiled. Does the council. Meeting ended, many aliens came up to Laura and Ben, asking more about Earth sports and gravity games. Lavra promised to share videos and stories the next day. Zorv stood quietly, thinking about what he had heard. Outside the council chamber, Lavra and Ben walked back to their room. I think we surprised them, Lavra said. Ben laughed. Maybe. Next time we can show them what it means to really jump. They both smiled, knowing this was just the beginning of something new for everyone in the galaxy. The next morning, Lavra woke up early in her small room on the space station. She looked out the window and saw ships from many worlds flying through the stars. She still felt a little nervous about what happened in the council yesterday. She wondered if the gravitons were angry or if the other aliens thought humans were strange for doing bungee jumping. Ben was already awake and sitting at the little table by the window, drinking tea and checking messages on his datapad. Ben smiled at Laura as she sat down. We got a lot of messages last night, he said. Aliens from all over want to know more about bungee jumping. Some think we're crazy, but some want to try it, Lavra laughed. I hope they're not too shocked. I guess jumping from a bridge is not normal for most people in the galaxy. Just then a soft bell rang. Laura's datapad showed a message from Zorv, the graviton leader. He asked if the humans could come to the council chamber for a special meeting. Lavra and Ben put on their suits and hurried down the long hallways. When they arrived, the chamber was less crowded, but the important council members and all the gravitons were there. Zorv stood in the center, looking calm and serious. Zorv greeted them. Thank you for coming, Lavra and Ben. We thought a lot about what you said yesterday. Our people are proud of our gravity skills, but we never thought of using gravity for games. You said that humans use gravity for fun. Would you show us more about this? Lavra nodded. Of course. On Earth, we have many sports that play with. Gravity, bungee jumping is just one. We have skydiving, trampolines, mountain climbing, and more. People like the feeling of falling and flying. Ben held up his datapad and showed Zorv a video. The screen showed people standing on a high bridge with big smiles, wearing safety harnesses and strong cords around their ankles. Then, one by one, they jumped off the bridge, screaming and laughing as they bounced up and down over a river. The camera caught their faces, full of fear at first, and then joy. Zorv watched closely. Some of the other gravitons leaned forward, surprised, and a little confused. One of them asked, Isn't it dangerous? Ben answered, We use good ropes and safety teams. Accidents are rare. It feels scary, but it is very safe if you follow the rules. Zorv was quiet for a moment. When we float or fly, it is to show control and balance. For us, falling is a sign of weakness, but humans fall on purpose and make it fun. This is something new to us, Lavra smiled. Sometimes facing our fear is the best way to enjoy life. Humans like to test themselves. Bungee jumping is not just about the jump. It is about being brave and trusting that you will bounce back. Another graviton, a younger one named Syl, looked at Lavra with wide eyes. Can we try it? The room became quiet. Lavra thought for a moment. We could set up a safe test. We don't have a bridge here, but maybe we could use your gravity fields to make a bungee jump in the chamber. You could float up, then fall, and bounce back with a safety cord. Zorv looked at the council leader, who nodded in agreement. If we make it safe, I see no problem. It could be a new way for our peoples to learn from each other. Ben and Lavra worked with the council engineers and the Graviton team to set up a safe bungee jump using the special gravity technology. They set up a soft platform on the floor and a long, strong, elastic cord that could stretch and pull jumpers back. The Gravitons used their gravity fields to lift themselves high into the air. Everyone watched as Lavra tested the cord first. She floated up, took a deep breath, and let herself fall. The cord stretched and then bounced her back up. Lavra laughed as she swung gently, showing it was safe. Zorv was next. He looked nervous but curious. He floated up, hesitated for a moment, and then let go. As he fell, his silver-blue body glowed in the bright light. The cord caught him and bounced him up. At first, his eyes were wide with shock, but when he landed, gently, he smiled. That was exciting, he said quietly. The other Gravitons tried one by one. Some screamed, some laughed, and some just held on tight and closed their eyes. After each jump, everyone clapped. The council members from other worlds started cheering and asking questions. They wanted to know if humans had more games like this. Lavra told them about trampolines where people bounce up and down for fun. She explained how children and adults jump and do tricks in the air. Ben showed more videos of skydivers jumping out of planes and opening parachutes, and mountain climbers hanging from ropes high above the ground. The aliens listened and watched in amazement. A furry green alien from a low-gravity world said, "On my planet we float everywhere, but we never thought to make it a game. Maybe we should try more human sports." Zorv thanked Lavra and Ben. "You have shown us something new. We always thought gravity was a thing to be controlled, not enjoyed. Perhaps we need to look at things differently." After the meeting, Lavra and Ben walked back to their room. Lavra felt proud and happy. "I think today was a good day," she said. Ben nodded. "Maybe soon everyone in the galaxy will want to bungee jump." They laughed together as they walked through the halls, thinking of all the new friends they had made and all the surprises still waiting in the stars. The news about the bungee jumping test spread fast across the space station. Many aliens who were not at the meeting heard about how the Gravitons, known for their control of gravity, had bounced and laughed with the humans. Soon, messages from all over the station came to Laura and Ben. Some wanted to watch, and some wanted to try it for themselves. That morning, Lavra walked through the hallways and noticed that everyone seemed excited. She saw a group of small blue aliens talking about gravity games and even the serious council. Guards were whispering about the strange new human sport. Lavra smiled. She was happy that something so normal for humans could become so interesting to others. Ben met Lavra at the door of the council chamber. He was holding a datapad with even more messages. "Look at this, Lavra. The council leader wants us to do another demonstration. He says more species are curious, and some want to know if their own people could bungee jump too." Lavra laughed. "I never thought a simple jump would get so much attention. I hope we don't run out of elastic cords." Inside the chamber, the engineers and Gravitons were already working. They had set up a stronger and safer bungee system, using the Graviton gravity field to lift the platform even higher. Zorv was checking every detail to make sure everything was safe. The council leader stood by, smiling at the growing crowd. Aliens filled the seats. There were tall, thin beings from a world with heavy gravity. There were short, round aliens who floated in the air. There was even a group of winged creatures from a moon where everyone could fly. Each group looked at the bungee platform with wide, curious eyes. Zorv stood up and called for quiet. "Friends from all over the galaxy, today we show you something new. Yesterday I tried bungee jumping with Lavra and Ben. It was a strange feeling, but it showed me that gravity can be more than just something to resist. It can be something to enjoy." Lavra and Ben waved to everyone. Ben turned on a big screen and played more videos from Earth. Everyone watched as people in colorful clothes jumped off bridges and cliffs, screaming, laughing, and bouncing back with big smiles on their faces. One video showed a group of people dressed as superheroes, jumping together and holding hands. In the air, the aliens watched in silence at first, but then they started to ask questions. One tall alien asked, "How do you know the cord will not break?" Lavra explained, "We use special cords made for strength and safety. Before each jump, we check everything and test the cord many times. We also use safety harnesses and teams to watch and help." A round alien with 6 eyes said, "On my world, falling is very dangerous. Our bones are soft. Could we still try this sport?" Ben smiled. "We can change the jump to be gentle and safe. You do not have to fall far. We want everyone to have fun, not to be afraid or get hurt." Zorv stepped forward and looked at his team. "My people are used to controlling gravity, but this new way is both fun and scary. It makes us feel alive in a new way." He turned to Laura and Ben. "Could you show everyone one more time?" Lavra nodded. She put on the safety harness, tied the bungee cord to her feet, and waved at the crowd. The gravitons lifted her up high with their gravity field. Lavra looked down, took a deep breath, and then jumped. She fell fast, but the cord caught her and bounced her up gently. She laughed and waved as she swung in the air. The crowd clapped and some even cheered. Ben was next. He climbed onto the platform, checked the harness, and gave the signal. The gravitons lifted him even higher this time. Ben jumped off, shouting with excitement as he bounced up and down. The aliens laughed and clapped, surprised that a human would enjoy something that looked so dangerous. After the demonstration, more aliens came forward. Some wanted to try right away. Zorv helped a young graviton named Syl put on the harness. Syl floated up, looked scared for a moment, and then let go. As Syl bounced, he laughed and shouted, "This is amazing!" His friends cheered and clapped for him. Soon, aliens from other worlds tried as well. The engineers adjusted the system each time, making sure it was safe for everyone. A small, gentle alien from a low-gravity moon tried the jump and floated down so softly that it looked like slow motion. A tall, strong alien from a heavy-gravity planet tried next. When he jumped, he barely bounced, but he smiled wide and said it was the most fun he had ever had. After the jumps, Lavra and Ben answered more questions. They explained how Earth has many games with gravity and how humans are always looking for new ways to play and have adventures. Lavra said, "We believe that facing our fears makes us stronger. Sometimes we fall, but we always try to get up again. That's part of being human." The council leader was pleased. He stood in front of everyone and said, "Today, we learned something important from our human friends. They showed us that even the strongest force can be turned into a game." We thank Lavra, Ben, and all the humans for sharing this new way to enjoy gravity. As the crowd left, many aliens talked about trying bungee jumping on their own worlds. Some said they wanted to invent new games with gravity. Zorv came to Laura and Ben and shook their hands. "Thank you for showing us a new side of gravity. I think my people will look at it differently now." Lavra smiled and said, "Thank you, Zorv. We are happy to share. Maybe one day you can come to Earth and see all our other sports too." Zorv nodded. "I would like that very much." Ben looked around at the emptying chamber and said, "It feels good to know we started something new." Lavra agreed. "Sometimes the best things begin with just one jump." They walked out together, feeling proud. The space station seemed brighter, and even the stars outside looked a little closer than before. The next few days on the space station were full of excitement. Lavra and Ben were busy from morning until night. More and more aliens wanted to see the bungee jumping and try it for themselves. The council decided to hold a special event so everyone could join and watch. People from every part of the station sent messages, and even ships from nearby planets asked if they could come. Everyone was talking about the new sport that the humans brought to the stars. Lavra and Ben woke up early to prepare. They worked with the engineers and the gravitons to make the jumping platform even bigger and safer. The engineers used new materials from the alien worlds to make a cord that was stronger than anything on Earth. Zorv and his team checked every part of the system, testing the gravity fields and making sure no one would get hurt. The event was planned for the main hall, a huge room that could hold thousands of visitors. When the day arrived, the hall was Full seats were packed with aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some floated in the air, others stood or sat, and some hung from the walls or ceilings. Lights flashed in many colors. Music from different planets played softly in the background. Lavra stood near the jumping platform and looked at the crowd. She felt both nervous and excited. She wanted to make sure everything went well. The council leader walked onto the stage and raised his hand. Today we celebrate something new. Humans have shown us a way to turn fear into joy. We welcome everyone to the first Galactic Bungee Jumping Festival, the crowd cheered, then smiled at Lavra. Ready for the show? He asked. I'm ready, Lavra said, trying to calm her heart. She stepped up onto the platform. Zorv attached the harness and checked the cord one more time. The gravity field lifted Lavra high into the air. Lavra waved to the crowd and then jumped. She fell fast, but the cord stretched and caught her. She bounced back up, laughing. The crowd cheered and clapped. Aliens shouted in their own languages, some waving their arms and others making happy noises. Lavra swung back to the platform, smiling and a little breathless. Ben was next. He climbed up and let Zorv help with the harness. Ben made a silly face and the crowd laughed. He jumped with a shout, spinning in the air. He bounced back up and waved as he swung. A group of small green aliens cheered, clapping their hands together. Then it was the aliens' turn. Zorv called for Sil, the young graviton who had tried the jump before. Sil floated up to the platform, a little nervous but excited. Zorv helped him with the harness. Sil jumped, and the crowd watched as he bounced and laughed. His friends cheered him on. Soon, aliens from other worlds tried. Each one needed special help. The engineers changed the gravity fields to match each alien's body. Some needed soft landings, while others wanted a faster fall. A tall blue alien from a cold planet jumped and spun in the air, looking surprised but happy. A group of winged aliens tried together, holding hands as they jumped and bounced. A small, round alien named Lila watched from the edge of the crowd. She had never tried anything like this before. Her planet had almost no gravity, and she floated everywhere. Lavra noticed her and walked over. Would you like to try? Lavra asked gently. Lila shook her head. I'm scared, she said in a small voice. Lavra smiled kindly. It's okay to be scared. I was scared the first time too. But you don't have to go high. We can start low and you can watch while we help. Lila thought for a moment and then nodded. Lavra brought her to the platform. Ben set the harness around Lila's round body and checked the cord. Zorv turned the gravity field down very low. Lavra held Lila's hand as she floated just a little way up, then let go. Lila bounced gently, not far at all. At first she was quiet, but soon she started to giggle. As she swung back to the platform, she laughed out loud. That was fun, she said, and the crowd cheered for her. After Lila, many more aliens wanted to try. Soon the event turned into a big party. Music played and food from many worlds was shared. Lavra and Ben told stories of Earth, showing videos of other sports, like skydiving and rock climbing. Aliens listened and asked questions, wanting to learn more. Orv stood with Lavra and Ben, watching everyone laugh and have fun. I never thought gravity could bring us together, Zorv said. On my world, we feared falling. Now, I see that letting go can help us learn new things. Lavra nodded. Sometimes when we let go of fear, we find joy and friendship. The council leader joined them. Today, you humans changed the way we think about gravity. I want to thank you both. You showed us that bravery can be simple and fun can bring many people together. As the festival ended, the crowd stayed and talked. Aliens exchanged ideas for new games. Some wanted to try other Earth sports. Others said they would invent their own, using their planet's special ways of moving and playing. Lavra and Ben promised to help, sharing everything they knew. That night, Lavra and Ben walked through the quiet halls, feeling tired but happy. The stars outside shone brighter than ever. Ben said, "We really did something good today." Lavra smiled. "Yes, we did. And tomorrow, who knows what new games we'll see in the galaxy." They both laughed, knowing that one simple jump had started something special for everyone. News of the Bungee jumping festival spread to every corner of the space station and soon to the nearby worlds. Many council members sent messages back to their home planets, telling stories about humans and their strange but fun game. Videos of aliens and humans jumping and bouncing together became popular on the galactic network. People who had never met a human before now wanted to try Earth sports and meet Lavra and Ben. The next morning, Lavra and Ben woke up to find hundreds of new messages on their datapads. There were invitations from other council groups, questions about safety, and even offers to visit new planets to teach more gravity games. Lavra scrolled through the messages with wide eyes. "Look, Ben, the water world wants to make a floating bungee jump. They want our help to design it," Ben laughed. "And here is a message from the council leader. He wants us to speak at the next Galactic Festival. I think we have started something big." Later that day, Zorv came to their room with two other gravitons. He looked very serious, but his eyes were kind. "I want to thank you again," Zorv said. "Many of my people feel different now. We used to think gravity was a thing to fight. Now we see it can be a friend too. Even our children are talking about new ways to play." Lavra smiled. "I am happy to hear that. On Earth, children learn to trust the world by playing. Sometimes we fall down, but we get up again. We laugh and try new things." Zorv nodded. There are some council members who worry that these games are too risky, but more and more everyone wants to try. I never saw the station so full of hope and fun. Ben showed Zorv some new videos. One showed humans surfing on big ocean waves, riding the water with just a board. Another video showed a skydiving team flying through clouds, holding hands in the air. Zorv and the other gravitons watched closely. "Doesn't it feel scary to jump from so high?" Zorv asked. Ben said, "Yes, it is scary at first. But when you trust your training, your team, and the equipment, the fear becomes excitement. The world looks different when you are falling or flying." "You feel free?" Zorv thought for a while. "I would like to try skydiving one day. Maybe my people can learn more Earth games. We can use our gravity fields to try something like it here on the station." Lavra said, "That is a good idea. Maybe we can have a Galactic Games Festival every year where every world shares their own sports and fun." As the days passed, more aliens visited Lavra and Ben to talk about gravity games. A group of small, fast aliens from a windy planet asked if they could use giant fans to create floating obstacle courses. A family from a heavy gravity world wanted to learn how to bounce and jump safely. Lavra and Ben helped everyone, sharing ideas and teaching them to respect safety rules. One day, the council leader invited Lavra, Ben, Zorv, and some other friends to a meeting. He stood up and said, "The whole galaxy is watching us now. We want to make gravity games part of the next council gathering. Each world will bring their own sport, and we will share them with everyone. Lavra and Ben, will you help us organize?" Lavra and Ben agreed, feeling proud and excited. Ben said, "We can make rules and safety guides. We can help every world learn to play in their own way." Zorv added, "The gravitons will build special gravity fields for the games. Everyone can join, no matter what their body or world is like." The council leader smiled. "This is a new time for the galaxy. Thank you, humans, for showing us that courage and fun can bring us together." After the meeting, Lavra and Ben met with some young aliens who wanted to try bungee jumping. Lavra remembered how Layla, the round alien from the festival, had been scared at first. Now Lila was teaching her friends how to bounce and swing gently. Lavra felt happy seeing that friendship had grown from a simple jump. Ben worked with the engineers to make new harnesses and cords for aliens of every size and shape. Some needed very strong cords, while others only needed soft bands. Everyone worked together, sharing stories and laughing. One evening, Zorv invited Lavra and Ben to a small party with his graviton friends. They served strange food from their planet, some sweet and some spicy. Zorv's family thanked Lavra and Ben for showing them a new way to enjoy life. One of the younger gravitons asked Lavra, "What game will you teach us next?" Lavra smiled. Maybe next time we can try rock climbing or flying kites in the wind or even racing with gravity sleds? Zorv said, "Whatever it is, we are ready. We want to learn everything." As the space station lights dimmed and the stars shone outside, Lavra and Ben sat by the window, watching ships come and go. Ben said, "We changed the galaxy a little, didn't we?" Lavra nodded. "Yes, and the galaxy changed us too. I think we made some friends for life." They both sat quietly, feeling proud. Far away, new messages were already coming in, with more worlds asking to join the next festival. Lavra and Ben knew there would be more work and more fun ahead, but they were ready for whatever came next. The story of Gravity Games had only just begun, and the galaxy was eager to see what humans and their new friends would dream up next. The days moved quickly after the Council made Gravity Games part of the next galactic gathering. Lavra and Ben found themselves busier than ever. Every morning, their datapads were full of messages from new friends across the galaxy. Some were simple thank you notes. Some were invitations to visit new worlds. Others were questions about how to make bungee jumping safer or how to build better harnesses. Lavra and Ben answered every message with care, happy to see so much interest. Zorv visited almost every day. He brought news from the Gravitons, telling Lavra and Ben how their people were learning to enjoy gravity in new ways. Graviton children built small bouncing games in their homes, and adults held friendly competitions to see who could make the best jump. Zorv laughed as he told them, "Now, even our elders are trying to bounce. It is a little strange, but it makes everyone smile." Ben showed Zorv a new design for a jumping cord that used both human and alien technology. Together, they tested it in the training room. The cord was strong and light, and the gravity field could be changed for every species. Zorv was impressed. "This is good," he said. "Now everyone can join, no matter where they are from." As the day of the galactic gathering came closer, the station was filled with excitement. Ships arrived from many worlds, each bringing new sports and games. The big hall where the Bungee Festival started was now full of platforms, slides, trampolines, and even a small flying ring where winged aliens could race in the air. There were signs in every language and food from every planet. Lavra and Ben helped set up everything, making sure that each world had space to share their games. The opening day was bright and busy. The council leader spoke first, welcoming everyone. "Today we do not just talk about peace and work. Today we play, we learn from each other and share our joy. Let us celebrate the gift of gravity and the courage to have fun together." The crowd cheered. Lavra watched as Zorv stood at the center, inviting everyone to try the new bungee jumping platform. It was bigger and stronger than before, with special controls for gravity. Aliens lined up, eager to try. A family from a water world jumped together, holding hands and making big splashes when they bounced. Small, round aliens floated gently, giggling as they swung back and forth. Even the council leader tried a short, safe jump, making everyone laugh. Ben joined a team of engineers to help with safety checks. They used datapads to watch every jump and catch any problems before they happened. Ben smiled as he saw the different kinds of fun. A group of tall aliens made a game of bouncing the highest, while others tried to spin in the air. Everyone found a way to enjoy the game, no matter their shape or size. Lavra spent time with the children, teaching them how to jump and swing. She remembered her own first jump on Earth and saw the same mix of fear and excitement in their eyes. A little alien named Pico held Laura's hand tightly before his turn. "Will it hurt?" he asked in a tiny voice. Lavra knelt beside him and said, "No, Pico, the cord and the harness are strong, and I will be right here. You will feel like flying and then you will bounce back up." Pico nodded and took his first jump. When the cord caught him and bounced him up, he shouted with joy. Lavra and the others cheered for him. After that, Pico wanted to jump again. And again, other worlds shared their own gravity games. Some brought floating obstacle courses where players bounced between soft walls and tricky loops. A group from a low-gravity moon made a jumping race where everyone could leap far and spin in the air. Teams from a heavy gravity planet showed how they could bounce rocks into tall hoops. Every new game brought more cheers and laughter. Zorv and Lavra watched together as the hall filled with friendship and noise. Zorv said, "When I first came here, I never thought gravity could bring so much joy. We were always careful, always in control. Now we see that letting go a little brings happiness." Lavra smiled. "Humans learned to play with gravity because we could not fight it. We found ways to use it for fun. I am glad we could share that with you." As the sun set over the space station, lights sparkled inside and out. The festival went on into the night. Food was shared, music played, and people from every world told stories of their home games. Lavra and Ben sat with Zorv and his family, feeling tired but full of joy. Zorv thanked them again. "You have changed our lives. You showed us how to trust, how to play, and how to make friends." Ben answered, "We did not do it alone. Everyone here was brave enough to try something new. That is what matters most." When the festival ended, everyone knew this was only the beginning. The council made plans for more games every year. Lavra and Ben promised to visit new worlds and learn new sports. Zorv said the gravitons would help teach Bungee jumping across. The galaxy dot on their last night on the station, Lavra and Ben stood by the big window, looking at the stars. Lavra said, "I never thought jumping off a bridge on Earth would lead to this." Ben smiled. "Gravity brings us down, but together we always bounce back." They held hands, watching as a new day began for everyone in the galaxy, with laughter and hope shining brighter than all the stars outside.